chip area. This is our chip. So 97% of chip area is consumed by digital part, and only 3% of the area is consumed by analog part. But when we talk about the budget, if you are if you are a designing company, when you talk about the budget, if you are having a 10 lakh budget, you are having a 10 lakh budget for designing, 5 lakh will be spent upon digital and 5 lakh will be spent upon this 3% analog part. So this area is less, but its importance is very high. And this 5% is also deciding the overall performance. This 3% is deciding the overall performance. This is the gateway to the chip, because every signal is analog signal. This analog IC is the gateway to the chip. All the functioning of our total IC will be dependent upon the efficiency and performance of our analog part itself. Okay. So in digital you are having Xilinx, you are having EDA tools, you are having different tools for digital design. But for this analog, these circuits are very less in number. But you need to find out the sizing. This aspect ratio, this W by L for a transistor is called aspect ratio. What we call this? Aspect ratio. And this comes in the sizing information or sizing information. We call this an aspect ratio or sizing information. You need to find out W by L individually for each and every transistor. All of the transistor in this 3% IC only. Okay. So our subject is analog IC design. After 2-4 lecture we will come to circuit design, but if we directly jump to the circuit design now, then you will be getting some phobia about the subject, because this subject is little puzzling. This subject is very puzzling. When you start directly reading, this subject will become puzzling. To remove your phobia, what we do, we have some I will cover some unit 0. We will cover some unit 0. Unit 0 basic understanding is important, and it will be very beneficial. It is not in the syllabus, but understanding is important, and it will be very beneficial for you as a prospective analog IC engineer. Okay. And one more thing about this subject is, whether you are having a 5 CGPA or you are having all backlogs in your previous year, doesn't matter. If you learn this subject very well, if you do some hard work in this subject only, what you will get, you can crack the VLSI company interview for the role of analog IC engineer. Okay, by only perfecting this subject only. For this subject only, whatever your shortcomings are previously, doesn't matter. If you focus on this subject and you rigorously practice this subject, you will be eligible for attending the analog IC design interview. And in the previous batch also, we are having Moschip come here for the campus placement, and the question they have asked in the interview, one of my student, whatever we have been taught in the class, similarly they asked the question. So for the interview preparation, this class will be very helpful for you. But specifically for the analog IC role, and some other roles are also there, layout engineer, AMS engineer, but we more focus on this analog IC first, then it will come later. Layout we are not having layout design in our syllabus, but 1-2 unit are from this. Then layout is also, you can go for layout if you further study. Okay, now we start our unit 0. For starting unit 0, here we are having analog IC design. We are studying circuit design. We are studying circuit design, but circuit is made up of devices. Circuit is made up of devices, or specifically main devices our main device is our transistor. So okay, and this is a semiconductor. These are made using semiconductor material, na? Semiconductor material. So prerequisite for this subject is very basic semiconductor device physics, very basic. Okay, and the important point we will revise in our unit 0. When you start this subject in IIT or NIT student, they are supposed to cover this very perfect. They are having a strong hold, but for this college already you have studied, but you are not having that much revision in your cache memory. That's why, okay, in IITs they directly watch the video from Behzad Razavi sir. We are having Behzad Razavi sir textbook we follow in this subject. They directly watch the Behzad Razavi video and they are good to go. But for us, because we need some revision, okay. So semiconductor device physics and little fabrication knowledge is also advantageous. How they are made, fabrication also, okay. One point is there. Another prerequisite for this subject is network analysis. Network analysis or network and transmission line you have studied in your very basic parts of that, okay. And very KVL, KCL, very basic only. And control system, that also very basic. Closed loop feedback. Closed loop feedback, what is the gain for closed loop feedback? Only basic we will need to revise. That network part and control we will revise when it comes, but device physics we revise now, okay. So suppose the start of VLSI is in after the invention of transistor in 1947. We have Independence Day in 1947, na? Similarly, electronics got independence in 1947 when BJT got invented. Prior to pre-BJT era was vacuum tube era. Vacuum tubes were used, and the vacuum tubes computer are very big hall is required and too much bulky. In size they are bulky, in weight they are very heavy, and power consumption is also very high. So cost is very high. So common person, a layman cannot afford the computer. They are only for industrial and commercial purpose. Now after the invention of BJT, the things becoming changing and electronics become cheaper and cheaper, okay. And BJT invention, some people say it is inspired from MOSFET itself. In 1925 MOSFET theory was proposed. MOSFET theory was proposed by Austrian-Hungarian scientist Lilienfeld. Lilienfeld is his name. His country I forgot perfectly, but Lilienfeld already proposed the theory. While according to some conspiracy theory, they say while copying the idea of Lilienfeld in the Bell laboratory, they fabricated the BJT, but their intention was to fabricate the MOSFET itself. Okay, BJT already you studied in this subject. BJT is not used nowadays in VLSI. Why? We will see. So after this, in 1957, after 10 years, in the same lab, MOSFET was fabricated in Bell Lab itself. MOSFET. Okay. And what do you mean by MOSFET? This is field effect transistor. MOSFET look like this. This is P substrate. Okay, metal. This is for metal. This metal. This is for oxide. M, O, and this semiconductor. We are talking for this MOS. And field effect transistor. While we apply voltage at gate terminal, there is a electric field in this direction. In this direction, there is a electric field. Upon the application of this electric field, this P channel got inverted into N. This interface got inverted into N. This interface. This is called channel. This is called channel. Now we compare this channel. We will consider this channel as a semiconductor bar of length L. This is our channel length, na? This is called channel length. We term this as L. Now we will consider this as a semiconductor bar of length L. Okay. Now this is our x-axis. This is our y-axis. Now we are having a third axis, which is called z-axis. Na? We are having z-axis or not? This is the semiconductor bar. While deriving the current equation, we will consider this semiconductor bar, and this dimension, this z dimension width is called W. Okay. So when you see a capacitor is formed, what is a capacitor? What the capacitor looks like? Capacitor look like this, na? Two parallel plate, and in between there is a dielectric. Similarly, there is a metal and this plate, and there is a dielectric.